Police in Albuquerque, New Mexico say someone is targeting the city's Muslim community. 4 Muslim men have been murdered in the past 9 months, and investigators believe that the killings are connected. For more on this, I am joined by the mayor of Albuquerque, Tim Keller. Welcome, Mayor Keller. So there was one murder back in November, and then 2 weeks ago, the first of 3 more murders. Tell us, at what point was the decision made to get the FBI involved?
Well, it was really after the second one. And of course, what happened and no one foresaw, it is just tragedy on top of tragedy, is that, an individual who was at the funeral for the third individual, was then killed that night. And that's when everyone really accelerated that there could be a threat to folks on an ongoing basis. And so the FBI had been involved in advance of that, but we really marshaled our state resources, more federal resources, and it just became the entire community's top priority in central New Mexico to seek this person, find them, and bring swift justice and let people know that they are safe again.
So, Mayor, as I understand it, you had engaged the FBI earlier, but only started to believe that these killings were specifically targeted after the 4th victim. Were there any notable threats against the mosque or Muslims in the area prior to these latest murders?
Well, we had been, and it was actually one number off what you just said, but it was after the second victim when we engaged the FBI, and then after the third, we'd been looking at it. But it rose to the top of everyone's radar right away on Saturday because of the potential for an additional victim. Now, what we've seen over the course of time, we're a very welcoming city for our refugee and immigrant communities, and we have been for quite some time. So when we have something like this, we do have an Office of Equity and Inclusion that is in contact with all our refugee communities, and including our mosques as well. And so we had been talking and concerned about this and asking the FBI to do some background workups and so forth. But things really accelerated last week when there was just a unanimous consensus that these are related and that folks are being targeted. And so now, there is nothing that anyone is working on at this city at this level besides bringing justice to this issue and supporting the community because they are terrified right now.
I appreciate you clarifying that, and also appreciate what you're saying about the Muslim community, because members of the community there have told CBS correspondent Omar Villafranca that they're scared even to leave their homes. What more is the city doing to reassure them? And curious if patrols around mosques are in fact sufficient to keep them safe.
Yeah, so they did ask for a visible police presence at mosques during prayer time. And so we are doing that with our Albuquerque Police Department and our law enforcement partners. But we're also doing a number of other things. We've set up mobile command posts in neighborhoods so that if people need to go to talk to somebody person to person, we've also set up translation capabilities in sort of the 4 different relevant languages, which are not necessarily easily found here and readily available, but they are in this case. We have those in place both through all our hotlines and in person at the command posts. And we're working even things like food delivery. So folks are so terrified they are unable to go get groceries. And so the city is now providing hot meals to individuals who are uncomfortable leaving their house. We're also providing trauma mental health services and for folks who again feel that need in this community. And so we're trying to do the best we can to support the community while also find this person and bring justice, because we know that's the most important thing and that's what everyone wants. But in the meantime, we want to make sure people feel safe to pray. And they also have the things like the food that they need. And lastly, schools. Our schools are starting this week, and we know that the children in the Muslim community are worried about going to school. We also have specialty Muslim-focused schools here, and we also have a University of New Mexico, which has a substantial Muslim population. So we're setting up systems peer-to-peer and also administration with their relevant police departments to make sure we are watching those kids or with them in whatever capacity they need to and from school.
Well, it certainly is a terrifying story, and we appreciate you joining us to discuss the latest on it. Mayor Tim Keller, thank you.
Thank you.